Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. Hope all of you are doing well today. You're getting a double upload. How's that? Yeah, there was no video yesterday, but it's okay. You're getting a double upload. We're going to get into, I think there's going to be quite transfer related. There's a couple of things that I thought would be good to discuss this morning. And then later on, we'll see what all the big news is going to be saying up until early evening. And then I'll get a video done for you at the same time. We do have the Europa League final tomorrow. Now, I wish I could have done a watch along for that, but I can't. I just know that the bandwidth from where I am at the moment just isn't strong enough. But there will be a review. We'll give a review for the Europa League final tomorrow, Tottenham versus Manchester United. That's going to be an interesting one. And the winner gets Champions League football. Now, talking about Champions League football and the winner of the Europa League getting that, I don't know if the quotes of Jose Mourinho were true. I've not seen the clip, but I've read what was said, apparently, what he said about Arsene Wenger. Do not mess with the Jose, basically, yeah? There's a fatality in the Arsenal aisle once again. If Arsene Wenger has actually, in fact, been done by Jose once again, I wouldn't be surprised. But let's get into matters. Nkunku, Florian Plettenberg came out and mentioned that Nkunku is confirmed to be leaving 100% and not on a loan. So in case anyone was actually wondering, it's going to be a loan. No, it's going to be a permanent. It has to be a permanent. There is no other way. But to who, to where, when, God knows. But the move will be done at some point this summer. And I'm mentioning this not because we don't know already. We know Nkunku's leaving. We all know. But there's one point that I thought would be important to mention. Risk. There's people that I've seen using concern on how the move of Nkunku has gone to try and prevent Chelsea from going and getting someone on a high salary or a high fee to come in because they're scared that it will be the same story. Or, like Sterling. High fee, high salary, now sat there, going to be leaving too, probably. Well, it has to be leaving too. That's not the way to think. You see, it's funny. It's ironic. I find it ironic. You get... Not just you get people. It's a common thing now, right? Especially, at least in football content creation. Where a lot of the feedback now, or even in the mainstream media, when you look at Sky and you look at other big mainstream platforms, where you just gotta just try and be positive. Yeah, be positive. And then when it comes to actually going and getting a proper player, those very same people are not positive at all and telling you, no, we can't take that risk. It's not good. We can't do that. We gotta go low salary, low wage, just in case. That's not positive, is it? Do you know what I mean? You have to make sure that you're getting what you need, but you have to not be stingy. Be smart, but don't be stingy. When you hear, and I'm going to talk about Kerkez going to Liverpool, right? Well, not going to Liverpool, but Liverpool are fully interested, and they've made the move apparently, contacted Bournemouth to try and speak to Kerkez and try and get a move done, right? That is something I've seen a lot of praise for. And I'm not going to sit here and just give praise for the sake of giving it when I know for a fact if it was Chelsea linked with Kerkez, I'd have a problem with it. I'm not going to do that, right? But it's not because I'd have a problem with it because of the player. I'd have a problem with it because of the lack of balance that we're offering ourselves. There's other teams like Liverpool that have what we don't have. They're in a position where they can go for a Kerkez. I'll get into that later. But we need a spine, a proper spine, a solid spine. Nkunku, as much as you can see, he has just down tools. He just doesn't care this season, right? He wants out. He has been at Chelsea, not playing much, and has already seen what was it, 4 managers? He was, when at Leipzig, it was Marina, who contacted Leipzig initially with interest of Nkunku. And that didn't get done under Marina because of the sanctions that followed. But this new ownership came in, followed suit, and boom, got the deal done immediately. We've not used him though. Let's be honest, we've not utilised Nkunku properly. Maybe if we still had Thomas Tuchel, maybe that would have been the case. That doesn't mean he's a rubbish player. He's not a rubbish player. We all know what he could do, but he doesn't fit with Maresca. Clearly, he just doesn't fit with Maresca. We know this. So This is where we have to be honest with ourselves and not put everything under one umbrella. Nkunku, rightfully so, needs to go now, right? And some would say maybe if we got rid of Maresca and if we got a top manager in, maybe he'd be utilised. But still, we're in a position where we have Cole Palmer, right? And Nkunku, I think correctly so, isn't going to be an understudy to Cole Palmer. That's just not going to be the case. So I think we are in a position where we got to pick one. And thankfully, we're in a role where we can just pick Cole Palmer. We got to think about who can come in as a proper replacement or come in as a proper... I don't want to say understudy. That's not the right word. Just rotation. Someone that can fill in the void. Someone that can be the Kalu to the Drogba. You know? If you remember. Well, I say Kalu to the Drogba. But you get what I mean. Kalu was always that sub player that was happy to come on, do a little job, thank you very much, go back on the bench again, and he's happy. We need that sort of balance. But Nkunku is someone that I think, look, we will alleviate a lot on the salary. Can we get a decent fee? Something small. It's not going to be something monumental, I don't think. Don't expect 60, 70 million for him, you know. But he comes off the books. And then from that point onwards, we start looking at not just him, but Sterling. Felix will be gone too. There's a lot of players that we're going to have to get off the books. Chilwell will be heading out the door too. And a lot of these are unfortunate. Like for me, personally, I've got no problem with Chilwell. Just me. But Kerkez is ahead of him at the moment, for sure. For sure. And I'm happy with the way that Kerkez has been. Not just for the good portion of last season, but for this season, I think he's been top class. So, happy to move on. But we have to think wisely in terms of going and getting the spine that we need, that we can settle around, and then start throwing players around. We have that solid spine that we're not looking to make money out of. We're looking to build success on, and then you start throwing players around that are young, developing, growing, have talent, can add to the equation. And this is where Liverpool are in a position where they can go for Kerkez. That's the difference. Nkunku, we'll see what happens to him. Where is he going to go? Do you guys have any predictions where he might head off to? There's been no rumours whatsoever. And this is going to be another thing. Who's going to be interested? There's one thing that we have to make sure, though. We have to just sell for whatever fee we can get. Don't try and make money out of Nkunku, like, you know, play hardball. There's no need to play hardball. Just a fee comes in, see what you can get, obviously negotiate, and then just accept something and just take it and go. Because the worst thing you would want is players that don't belong in the squad, or you don't want in the squad, or they don't even want to be here, then you're stuck with them for next season. So alleviate everything off the books is going to be something that I think logically would help the club to go and get 2 or 3 top players that we can actually give a decent salary to, because they are top players, and that is what you got to do. And then build around them with a little bit that we already have. That's key. When you look at our midfield, I think we're good there. Cole Palmer, we're good there, but we need a proper striker. We need a proper centre-back. We need a proper goalkeeper. Once you got that, start throwing all the youngsters around it as you want. No problem. Liverpool, now moving for Kerkez, yeah, and even then, they were looking at trying to get a centre-back because they know Van Dijk doesn't have too long left. But they got Alisson, they got Van Dijk, they've got a decent midfield. They've got, what do you say, McAllister, or Szoboszlai, whoever. They've got Mo Salah. Up top is a little bit of a weird one for them. They have this system of shifting and rotation. They haven't got a proper in and out number 9. I'm not going to count Darwin Núñez as number 9 because I don't rate him like that. He's something, better than nothing, but he's not it. But they've got a decent spine that they can throw around. Kerkez is someone that is going to, I think, come in and do a decent job for them if they were to land him. Young, done a good job at Bournemouth, especially this season. And is someone that I think Liverpool can help elevate. But they've got everything equipped in their team in order to accommodate a player like Kerkez. You know, they're replacing Trent, for example. Sorted. But they didn't go out and get a superstar. That's because it's not necessary. They've got a spine that they can build around. This is key. This is where, hopefully, we know Nkunku's heading out the door. We're going to see other players heading out the door this summer. I think there's going to be a lot of outgoings, and we'll see who those outgoings are going to be properly, but I think there's going to be a lot of outgoings. And then we'll go from there. But who's coming in? It's like I said, this is going to be make or break, and we'll see what happens in the last game of the season against Nottingham Forest. That's going to be make or break, because if we make Champions League football, okay, now we can start properly looking for the big boys, and there's no option not to. We have to. If we don't, then good luck to us. Pretty much. But where do you think Nkunku will head off to? Do you think Kerkez will do well at Liverpool? There was Liam Delap news yesterday. He spoke to Manchester United direct, and apparently he will be speaking to Chelsea too. But again, I'm not going to mention too much on that because we don't know what's been said. There's been nothing else added on. We'll see what happens at the end of today. I've got a feeling maybe at the end of today we might hear about Liam Delap. So we'll see. But let me know your thoughts, and I'll be here later on tonight for the second video of the day. Make sure you're all here. Much appreciated. Subscribe, notification bell on, and I'll catch all of you tonight. In a bit, people. Look after yourselves. Take care, and peace.